Hi, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Dana. And thank you to the Texas Society for Gastroenterology and Endoscopy for having me as a guest at this conference to speak with you all today. My name is Chris Kralik, and I'm the Center Administrator for Digestive Health Center of Plano and Digestive Health Center of Allen, two AmSurg GI ambulatory surgery centers in the North Texas area. A little bit about myself. I've been a registered nurse for 14 years, and I'm also a certified gastroenterology RN. My background includes emergency medicine and gastroenterology and endoscopy in both the hospital and the outpatient ambulatory surgery settings. Today, we're going to talk about strategies to create a positive workplace. But before we discuss some strategies to accomplish this, let's first look at what a positive workplace looks like and why a positive workplace is so important, especially in the healthcare setting. Dr. Argawal in Forbes stated, a workplace culture is the shared values, belief systems, attitudes, and set of assumptions that people in a workplace share. A positive workplace culture improves teamwork, raises the morale, increases productivity and efficiency, and enhances retention of the workforce. Job satisfaction, collaboration, and work performance are all enhanced. And most importantly, a positive workplace environment reduces stress in employees. So let's look at this statement in a few key words here for just a moment. Teamwork, high morale, increased productivity, efficiency, retention, job satisfaction, collaboration, and lower stress. Sounds like a win-win for both employees and the company, right? Well, a positive workplace is more than just people coming into work in a good mood every day. A positive workplace culture is something that is built and cultivated over time. Not a change that's going to happen overnight, but with the strategies that we will discuss and your dedication to improving your work environment, it can easily be achieved. So now let's look at why a positive workplace is so important. Studies have found that a good working environment has a positive impact on job satisfaction, and that job satisfaction is a reliable and relevant predictor of employee retention. So there's a direct correlation between positive work environments and employee retention. And employee retention is something that I feel is even more important currently than ever with the workforce challenges that many healthcare facilities are currently facing. The other important reason to have a positive work environment is for both our employees and our patients. And I feel that this is the most important reason for cultivating this positive workplace, especially in the healthcare setting. Better work environments were associated with lower odds of negative nurse outcomes, lower odds of poor safety or quality ratings, and lower odds of negative patient outcomes, but higher odds of patient satisfaction. So from this, we can see that a positive workplace benefits employers, employees, and most importantly, our patients. So now let's look at some strategies that can help us to be able to achieve this. To begin with, let's first examine our hiring and interview practices. You want to find the right candidates that are a good fit for your work culture. The best candidate may not always be the most experienced. I've hired some wonderful endoscopy technicians and nurses that have had some experience, but maybe not as much as others, but have a great team attitude, a desire to learn and grow in the profession, and really fit into our positive work culture that we have cultivated. Try not to just hire someone to fill the position. Hire the candidate who is truly the best fit for your center, department, unit, or office. During the interview process, thoroughly discuss the expectations of the position, your work culture, and your company's mission and core values with all your potential candidates. By doing this, you're setting a great foundation for candidates before you even hire them. Lastly, we know how difficult it is when we hire a new employee, spend time, money, and resources training and orienting, only for that employee to resign because maybe the job was not what they expected. This can also hurt the morale of your team now that there's another open position that needs to be filled. So try to be as transparent as possible during the interview process so there's no surprises when your new employee starts. The next strategy is to have a thorough onboarding and training for all new employees. So now you've already built this great foundation during your interview process. So now it's time to build on that. Ensure that you're giving your employees the tools to set them up for success. And reinforce the expectations of the position, your mission, core values, and work culture. Ensure that they have adequate time to learn their position and their new work environment. Remember, you may have hired someone that was a better fit for your work culture, but may have a little less experience. Be patient. Their orientation may take a little bit longer than others. And make sure you're checking in with these employees on a very regular basis as well. Additionally, make sure you introduce these new employees to your team and make them feel welcome and part of the team from day one. So now that hopefully we've hired the right people and given them the tools to succeed with a thorough onboarding and training, now trust them to do their job. Allow your employees as much autonomy as possible. Autonomy can be powering for these employees, and it shows that you have trust and faith in their skills and abilities. And avoid micromanaging. How many of you have ever had a manager or a supervisor that has micromanaged your work? It's not really fun, right? No one likes their boss breathing down their neck. So trust your employees to do their job. Next, make sure you are giving your employees opportunities for career development. Allow opportunities for new skills, procedures, equipment, and devices for them to be able to learn all these new things. Not only will this make them a more valuable employee, it will help prevent stagnation and keep them engaged and passionate about their work as they grow. Also consider cross-training employees. You could cross-train your nurses to both pre-op and recovery, maybe even into the endoscopy technician role to assist the physician. Technicians can be cross-trained to the front office or to the pre-op and recovery areas, and vice versa. Front office could be trained to some of the technician positions or even as an MA type position to help in your pre-op and recovery areas. Not only does this grow the skill sets of your employees, it benefits the employer as well with added flexibility in staffing. Also, encourage further education and certification. Encourage your RNs to obtain their BSN or their CGRN, or even further education to get their master's. Encourage your technicians to get certified as well. And give opportunities to your employees to partake in in-services and continuing education, both at the workplace and outside of work as well. Additionally, try to promote from within the company. This gives employees something to strive for and a reason to continue to learn new skills, take on more responsibility, and grow in their professional development. Our next strategy is to maintain strong lines of communication. Make sure that you're using clear and concise messaging to ensure that what you are saying is communicated effectively and understood by the recipient. Set clear expectations for all your staff and enforce your policies and procedures if they are violated. A positive workplace is not never addressing issues with your employees. In fact, it's the opposite. You must have consistency with any consequences for any violations of your policies, procedures that are understood by all your employees and also always given fairly to everyone. Next, keep everyone in the loop. This can be accomplished during staff meetings, huddles, email, or notes and letters to any of your physicians or employees. Everyone needs to make sure that everyone's on the same page and that this messaging is very clear and concise to everyone. Additionally, conduct check-ins with your staff and your physicians to see how things are going for them. See what's working well and what areas may need some improvement. It's very hard to fix things if you don't know they're broke. Along with this gives an opportunity for you to build a rapport with your staff and physicians so that they are more likely to, communicate with you and be more open to those communications. Our next strategy is to listen to ideas. Listen to your employees and your physicians' ideas. If you don't, they may not continue to come to you with those ideas. From a leadership perspective, we do not do our employees' jobs every day, even if we have done those tasks in the past. Your employees are able to bring a different perspective that you may not have even thought of. If you are in leadership, make sure you have an open door policy as well. Employees will be more apt to come in with their ideas if you do have this open door policy, and encourage them to always come to you with their ideas. Also encourage them to give solutions to areas of improvement that they do identify. This will again empower them to be that conduit of change and improvement in your workplace. Lastly, don't be set in your ways and be open to change. Just because your workplace has always done something a certain way, there may be better ways to achieve your goals, and your employees probably have some great ideas of how to accomplish this. Our next strategy is to ensure adequate staffing. As we discussed before, a positive workplace results in higher job satisfaction and therefore higher employee retention. So as you move towards a positive work environment, employee turnover and temporary staffing gaps should reduce. But still ensure that you have adequate staff to get the job done and accomplish your goals. Try to find a staffing model that will allow your employees to be able to use their PTO that they have accrued without causing stress on your center, department, unit, or office. As we discussed earlier as well, consider cross-training employees to give additional flexibility in your staffing. This brings our next strategy that ties in with staffing, which is work-life balance. Everyone has a life outside of work and needs time away from work to decompress, spend time with friends and family, make appointments, or just for some mental rest. Ensure your staffing model gives your employees the ability to utilize the PTO that they have accrued. By making sure that your employees have a good work-life balance, burnout can be reduced and the morale and mental health of your employees should improve. Our next strategy is praise and recognition. Make sure that you're giving your staff praise and recognition regularly. When giving praise and recognition to an individual contributions or accomplishments, consider doing that in private and give praise and recognition to the team in that group or team environment. When an individual is praised in the group setting, it could possibly make that individual uncomfortable. Additionally, it could make other members of your team kind of feel poorly about themselves, especially if they feel like they've been working just as hard as that employee that's being recognized. So just be mindful of how you go about giving praise and recognition to make sure that your team all does feel appreciated and that no one feels left out. Next, we want to celebrate accomplishments. Ensure that you're creating SMART goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. A key word here is achievable. Make sure these goals are not just a carrot on a stick that your staff is constantly chasing. You want to set reasonable goals that can be achieved by your team, and then celebrate these accomplishments with your team. These celebrations also give an extra incentive for your team to reach this goal. These can be simple celebrations too, such as a pizza party, an ice cream social, or maybe even a small financial incentive. But be creative. You know what motivates your team. Next, you want to make sure that you're valuing all of your employees. Every member of your team plays an important role in the care of your patients. From our physicians, technicians, nurses, CRNAs, environmental services, materials management, front office, it doesn't matter what their role is. Everyone plays a huge part in the success of your workplace and the outcomes for your patients. Give your employees a sense of purpose by reminding them how important their role is in the quality of care and positive outcomes of your patients. As we discussed earlier, this is something that can be started during the interview process before employees even join your team. and then can be reiterated on a regular basis during staff meetings, huddles, and any other communication that you send or have with your staff. This helps create an environment to where your employees feel proud of the work that they do. Our next strategy is to host company events or team building exercises. This, of course, has been kind of a challenge during the COVID pandemic. Many companies have had policies or regulations to help ensure the safety of their staff and their patients. So when trying to do these activities, events, and exercises, it is possible, but just make sure that you are following your company's policy, CDC recommendations, and local guidance and regulations to be able to gather safely when considering these events. And lastly, lead the way by example. While a positive workplace entails more than just a positive attitude, it certainly helps in achieving this goal. Be mindful of your interactions with your employees and try to find the positive, even in difficult situations. Also, follow through with what you say. You've set expectations for your employees. Now your employees have expectations from you as a leader to do what you say you are going to do. Set that example for those around you through your own actions and your attitude. A final note, a positive workplace starts with you, and it takes every person's contribution to accomplish this. So be the change that you want to see in your workplace, and others will follow. Thank you all for your time and attention today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me by email at ckralick@amsurge.com or by phone at 972-985-2300. Thanks again for your time, and hope you all have a wonderful day.